If you've been following along, and I hope you have, you would know and you would remember, because it was only 2 days ago that the last one I did, the last record I did an unboxing of, was Kiss Animalized, that had no box whatsoever. I was very upset about that. And you can go and see. It came with just like the record. That's it. The way you'd pick up in a store, that was how it was sent. Today, Metallica, Kill 'Em All, is the opposite. Some would say it's 360 degrees difference, but it's actually 180. Here's how Kill 'Em All arrived. Look at this massive box. So there's that. And as a bonus, it's not a bonus, moments ago, I also got this. This will be featured, I guess tomorrow. I typically wouldn't have done one tomorrow. Tomorrow is Monday, and for those who do pay attention to that, I know there are very few. I think Kirk is the only one. Monday is typically my hiking day, hiking or swimming down at the river or some kind of adventure outside the house. Unfortunately, I'm not going to do that tomorrow. I already canceled tomorrow's. We hadn't decided where we were going to go, hiking or to a river, or I think we were talking about some pyramids too. Had to cancel that because I've been ill as of late. There's a Seinfeld reference for Steve Tavalera. My aunt has been ill as of late. I was very ill Friday night and yesterday. Today is Sunday. I went to bed Friday night, and before I went to, I don't know why I'm saying all this, before I went to bed Friday night, I started to feel really, really horrible pains in my stomach. Not like the kind that you're going to vomit from, but just really, really painful. It came in waves. They would come and go. And I went to bed. I think about an hour after I went to bed, I woke up, had to vomit, went back to bed. I think about an hour later, woke up, vomited again. I was hoping it was one of those things that, you get it out of your system and that's it. That doesn't really happen in Mexico. I get this once or twice a year where I get some kind of stomach infection. So I woke up yesterday morning and didn't really feel too much better. Went outside to take care of the dogs, and I puked right in my driveway in plain view of everybody. Had to wash that away. Got some medicine, which this is not meant to be as a prop. It's just where it is here. I got some medicine there. The great thing about Mexico, one of the great things about Mexico, is this is an antibiotic, and it says right on the back here that it needs receta, which is a prescription, by prescription only. The pharmacist, she told me, she said, it's supposed to be prescription only, but I'll give it to you. I don't think that would ever happen in Canada or the US. So I got some antibiotics. I do feel better today. Thank you for asking. But I don't think I'll be, there's no way I could hike today, and I wasn't going to risk, I'm not going to risk hiking tomorrow, so I told Eric yesterday I'm out for tomorrow. So I will have this one. This is good old A16 3E. This is what I'm going to be featuring tomorrow. But for today, I've got Metallica, Kill 'Em All. Should I open it? I will open it right away. This is a big one. Let me put that down while I get the knife out. All right. A lot of waste here. Some people don't really like that. A lot of this, what do you call this? What is this stuff called? I know it's paper, but I think, is it packing paper? I'm not sure. More. And what a weird thing Amazon is. I've talked about this recently. Sometimes they've sent them just like this, which I guess is fine. Sometimes they send them like this, but in the other size package here, the A16 3F, I think it was. I don't know why they sent it in such a gigantic box. You could have fit Metallica, the band, in that box. So here it is. It says right there, Metallica, Kill 'Em All, vinyl, new item. All right, let's take a look. It's got one of these tabs. If I can get a grip to start, there's no tab. nothing to grip. Ah, that's the word. Okay. My cat is actively watching. Ooh, there it is. All right. Kill 'em all. There's the hype sticker. It says remastered for the first time. The album that started it all! Exclamation point. Featuring Seek and Destroy, Four Horsemen, Whiplash, and then a quote from a website called hornsuprocks.com. It says, if Kill 'Em All is not on your all-time top 10 list of favorite albums, something might be wrong with your eardrums. It's not in my all-time top 10. I don't think there's anything wrong with my eardrums. I don't think it's a question of your eardrums. I think it's a question of taste, if it's not your favorite, if you don't like it or whatever. And I love it. I to make it clear, I do love this album. And I'll talk about it right now. I'll talk about it before I take a little break. I bought this album originally, and this is the first record I've bought non-Kiss. Now, I bought 72 Seasons like a month ago, but that was a new record. This is the first, if I call this retro records, going back and buying albums that I had in the past, and now I'm going back and buying them again. This is the first one I bought that is not Kiss. So I bought Animalize, Destroyer, Dressed to Kill, Alive, Creatures of the Night. All right, this is the first non-Kiss, so this is big. So I got Kill 'Em All originally in December 1983. I've been a Metallica fan for a long, long time. Not since No Life Till Leather. I never had that at any point. But I got into Metallica with this album. It was December 1983 when I bought it. I was going downtown. I lived in Toronto at the time. I was going downtown with my friend D-Mac, Daniel McClellan, and I think we were going to do Christmas shopping. We were on the subway, and I found $10 on the floor of the subway, and I went and bought Kill 'Em All. If I remember correctly, and nobody knows this, it was at Records on Wheels on Yonge Street in Toronto. Now, I had been into Metallica for a few months at that point. I knew Hit the Lights, Four Horsemen, and Seek and Destroy. I used to tape all kinds of stuff on the radio. There used to be really, really cool metal shows. I've talked about some of those before. And so I used to buy a lot of blank tapes at the Pickering Flea Market in Pickering, Ontario, just east of Toronto. And just tape stuff constantly. I indexed everything. And I had Hit the Lights. I think they were separately. I think I taped Hit the Lights first. And then a week later, or 2 weeks later, I heard Four Horsemen and Seek and Destroy. So that was my introduction to Metallica. And now this album, I loved it at the time. This was one of, and maybe I'm not making a big a deal out of this as I should be, or maybe I'm making too big a deal out of it. This was a huge, massive, enormous album for me. Not physically, they're all the same size physically. But I would say outside of when I got Kiss Alive, the first record I ever got in 1976, this is maybe the most important one I ever got, because this opened me up to the kind of music that I would continue to listen to and still listen to today. This got me into very, very close around the same time. Slayer and Anthrax and Megadeth, and a little bit later Exodus, and a little bit after that Testament, thrash metal, Sacrifice. This is the first one. This was. It's not even up for debate. This was the first thrash metal album. There may have been some signs of thrash metal here and there before, maybe even with Symptom of the Universe in 1975. But there's no doubt that this, not Venom, not Welcome to Hell, this is the first thrash metal album. That's very, very clear. And further to that, Metallica there are really only two bands, maybe three bands that I could make the argument for being my favorite bands ever. People like to say all time. My favorite bands ever would be Kiss, Metallica, and Pearl Jam for different reasons. As much as I love Iron Maiden and Motorhead and Slayer and Rat, I can't really make a strong argument for them being my favorite. But Metallica, yeah, Metallica, Kiss, Pearl Jam. Nobody else could be my favorite. As I said, for different reasons, which I've kind of talked about before, so I won't talk about again. So that's what I think about Kill 'Em All. Looking back on this, it's not the songs are great. This is my favorite of the big four thrash debuts. Kill 'Em All, Show No Mercy by Slayer, Killing As My Business, Business Is Good by Megadeth, and Fistful of Metal by Anthrax. I had them all when they came out. This is my favorite. Slayer is really, really close. Maybe on some days I would even say Slayer is better. But I think like all of those albums, they weren't, when you saw what all those bands did better, they got much better. The debuts were a little bit rough. I think the only problem I have with this, and I listened to it yesterday while I was lying in bed all day, I listened to it. And I think I hadn't listened to the full thing for quite a few years. I listened to different songs here and there. Really, the only problem I have with this, one is very minor. The lyrics are, they were great at the time. In Hit the Lights and Whiplash and Metal Militia, they were singing about thrash metal and metal crowds and, when we start to rock and we never want to stop again. That was great when I was 13, 14. Looking at it now, it's kind of stupid, although I do have kind of a retro appreciation for it. But the other one, listening to this now, James Hetfield's voice at this time was he was very shrieky, very not really high pitched, but just very shrieky. And I guess he didn't really even ride the lightning a little bit. I think it was by Master of Puppets that he really, maybe even you could say Justice for All, that he really developed into the Hetfield, that big powerful voice that he's got. But he's very shrieky here. And obviously when they play these songs live now, and for years, he obviously has to sing them much, much better. Much differently, not better. I would have loved to have heard his vocals like from the Justice for All era on this. Obviously that's impossible, but there you go. So that's my thoughts about that. And I'm going to go take a photo of this. I'm going to take a little break and come right back. I'm about to open this up and go through it track by track. Maybe that's the most exciting part for the 70 people who watch this. Which do you like better? Which is more exciting? The opening, the unboxing, or the track by track? Leave a comment down below. Please do that. So I'm gonna open it up now. I gotta get my knife out again. All right. And they really wrap these tight. There's no opening. I guess that's good. Yeah, it's funny when you open these when you're a kid or a teenager, you just tear it open. I used to open them on the subway on the way home. I used to go downtown Toronto to buy records, and this was when I was teenager, and used to take the subway down there, and that was very exciting to take the subway back with a record or maybe a couple of records if you were lucky enough to get a couple, and open them up on the subway and look at the lyrics and the pictures and whatever else came in them. I can put that down. And talk about it with your friends. All right. And now, as it says on the hype sticker, remastered. I remember I did listen to this. I downloaded it at the time that it came out in 2016, I think it was. Didn't sound any different to me than the original. I think mostly remasters just sound louder. This one didn't even sound louder. It didn't sound any different at all. So there it is. Kill 'Em All. This is really cool for me to see this again and to have this and hold it and cherish it again after so many years. And what's inside? Oh, this is all right. This is a little bit different. All right, so this one has okay. So this is the same as what it came with in 1983, except it was on the actual record. This time they've put it as a separate lyric sheet, as an insert. I don't remember those pictures. No, I kind of do. I remember the lyrics. I remember the layout of the lyrics. This has, what do they call this? A download card, I guess. There it is. Don't steal my, I don't care. I already have it. Steal it if you want. If you want to go download it, feel free to take my code. And then let's see the actual record. Now this is different because when I bought mine in 1983, this is what it looks like here. It was on Bonsai Records was the label in Canada, and it was called This Side and That Side, and it was the Bonsai logo, which was a red, white, and black. Was it a samurai guy holding a sword or something? So this label is completely different. Obviously, this is on Blackened Records, which is Metallica's own label. All right, let me put that back. And I'll put this back in here, and then I will go through it. I'll leave that there for now. So here it is. So the first track is Hit the Lights. As far as I'm concerned, and as far as everybody should be concerned, that is the first truly thrash metal song ever. Exciter maybe was close. Raven was kind of on the right track. They were kind of cooking something up. As I said, maybe Black Sabbath had Symptom of the Universe 8 years earlier. But this was truly, truly thrash metal. And it was No Life to Leather, we're going to kick some ass tonight. That was the opening line. That was thrash metal right there. And every song was, or every lyric of this was about metal. No Life to Leather, we're going to kick some ass tonight. With volume higher. No, was that the next line? I can't even remember now. With volume higher. It's causing you sweet pain, oh sweet pain. When we start to rock, we never want to stop again. Loved it at the time. This was, I thought, this is like the kind of music that I want to listen to. And I did, and I still do. Next, Four Horsemen. Four Horsemen may be, I'm sure it's my favorite song on this album. It might even be my favorite Metallica song. I would say maybe Four Horsemen, maybe Harvester of Sorrow, Blackened, Battery, Master of Puppets. Maybe something off Death Magnetic could also be a favorite. But I think Four Horsemen, for today I'll say that Four Horsemen is my favorite Metallica song in their whole catalog. It's got everything. It's 7 minutes, 8 seconds, and there's so many different changes in it. It's not thrash like Hit the Lights, but it's a heavy song. Love it. And just so much, there's so much texture to that song. Motor Breath, Living and Dying, Laughing and Crying. Once you've seen it, you'll never be the same. Life in the Fast Lane is just how it seems. It's hard and it's heavy and dirty and mean. Motor Breath. It's how I live my life. That was never a favorite. I like it, but compared to the rest of it, Motor Breath was not really a favorite. And the next is, I would say the same thing for me, Jump in the Fire. With Hell in My Eyes and Death in My Veins. Down in the depths of my fiery home where it doesn't matter. You know the lyrics. So do I just can't think of them right now. Pulling Teeth, the instrumental, the bass solo, take one. This was, I talked about this when I went through Metallica's whole catalog. Believe it or not, people didn't love Cliff Burton back then. And I know because I loved Metallica. I had friends who liked Metallica. You go to concerts and talk to people you meet and talk about your favorite this or favorite that. Nobody was talking about Cliff Burton being their favorite bassist back then. I'm not saying that he wasn't. I'm saying that I personally didn't know. He didn't become Cliff Burton until after he died. And that's not taking anything away from him. But looking back on it now, I like that much more now than I did then. I didn't really like, and I kind of still don't like instrumentals. I think they're just kind of a filler or kind of a waste. But I really do like Anesthesia, Pulling Teeth. And then Whiplash, Late at Night, All Systems Go. You come to see the show. We do our best. You're the rest. You make it real. You know, there's a feeling deep inside that drives you fucking mad. The feeling of a hammerhead. You need it so bad. Adrenaline starts to flow. You're thrashing all around. They said thrashing. They were describing the kind of music that they were playing. They were singing about what was happening in their world and at their concerts. You're thrashing around, acting like a maniac. Whiplash. Here on stage, the martial noise is piercing through your ears. Kicks your ass, kicks your face, exploding feeling nears. Now's the time to let it rip, to let it fucking loose. We're gathered here to maim and kill, because this is what we choose. At the time, this was my favorite song. At the time this came out for years, just I loved those lyrics. I thought it was so fast, faster even than Hit the Lights. I guess after I bought this, I don't remember it, but I would assume at the time I bought this, I'd only heard Hit the Lights, Four Horsemen, and Seek and Destroy. So I guess when I heard Whiplash, I must have been felt like I was in another world. Here on stage, the martial noises. No, I said that already. Anyway, I'm not going to do all the lyrics. Turn it over, and Phantom Lord. Sound is ripping through your ears. The deafening sound of metal nears. Victims. Your body's waiting for his whips. The taste of leather on your lips. Hear the cry of war louder than before. With his sword in hand to control the land. Crushing metal strikes on this Friday night. Fall onto your knees for the Phantom Lord. Victims falling under chains. You hear them crying dying pains. Feel the terror breaking through. Now there's nothing you can do. Something like that. This might be my least favorite on the album. Although I love it. I can't tell you how much I love this album. But you have to have a least favorite. Pulling Teeth or Anesthesia, maybe less. But of the complete songs with lyrics, Phantom Lord is probably my least favorite. No Remorse is next. Now when I listened to this yesterday, I hadn't listened to No Remorse, I think, for quite a long time. And when they played last time in Mexico in 2017, they played 3 nights. I went to the first and third night. I skipped the second night, and they played No Remorse. And because, they changed up a little bit. I thought, oh, No Remorse, I don't really mind that I missed that. And when I listened to it yesterday, I thought, man, No Remorse is fucking awesome. I guess it had just been so long, I'd forgotten how much I love it. That's an excellent song, amazing. That, especially that middle part, that I guess now you would call the mosh part that Anthrax coined. Time has taken its toll on you. No, that's Four Horsemen. What's the middle heavy part of No Remorse? The part I can't remember. No mercy for what we're doing. No thought to even what we've done. There's no need. We don't need to feel the sorrow. No remorse for the helpless one. War without end. No, it's No Remorse. Oh, that has the really fast part, and Hetfield screams attack with his screechy voice as it was back then. Bullets are flying. People are dying. With madness surrounding, all hell's breaking loose. Soldiers are hounding. Bodies are mounting. Cannons are shouting to take their abuse. With war machines going, blood starts to flowing. No mercy given to anyone here. Furious fighting, swords are like lightning. It all becomes frightening. Death is near. But there's a great part in No Remorse, isn't there? Kind of a kind of mosh part. I don't know. I feel like I don't know this album. I'm making all kinds of mistakes. Maybe I overcompensate by singing the lyrics or by saying the lyrics. Seek and Destroy is next. That one, I've become a little bit tired of it over the years, but there's no denying that was still is a great song. When I first saw them, January 19th, 1985, and they played Seek and Destroy. I guess they've done it every show. I don't know if they've ever not played it. Probably 1 or 2 shows here and there. Instead of we're scanning the scene in the city tonight, Hetfield sang it as we're scanning the scene in Toronto tonight, which I'm sure he does that in every city. I know we're scanning the scene in Mexico tonight, but at the time I thought, oh my God, he's saying Toronto, he's making this personal. I thought that was very cool. Very anthemic song. It's amazing to think that when this came out in 1983, that Seek and Destroy would be such a big anthem and there would be stadiums of 50, 60,000 people singing along with Seek and Destroy. And then the last one is Metal Militia. This was also a favorite at the time. Maybe this is my least favorite. Maybe I like, and again, I don't dislike it. I actually like it, but this or Phantom Lord. This had kind of cheesy lyrics. Thunder and lightning, the gods take revenge. Senseless destruction. Victims of fury are cowardly now, running for safety. Stabbing the harlot to pay for her sins, leaving the virgin. Very cheesy lyrics and very, heavy metal. Lux Eterna's, I guess that's the closest they've come since then, lyrically, to singing about the lifestyle of heavy metal, I guess, is Lux Eterna. But there, we are as one, fighting together to take on the world with our heavy metal. My God, nothing was better than that when you're 13 or 14 years old. So that's it. That's all for this beauty, Kill 'Em All. And I'll say again, this album introduced me and introduced everybody who listened to it at the time into this thing called thrash metal, and it's still thriving or surviving, whatever cliche or trope you want to use to describe it. And I'm very happy to have Metallica, Kill 'Em All, back in my life.